This ain't Texas, but at Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour from LA to New York City, and even London, it has kind of looked like it. In a swarm of denim, cowboy hats and boots, the Beehive taking over stadiums.
Y'all, Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter is on top of the world. Cowboy Carter era, $200 million Malibu mansion, biggest pop star on the planet. And 10 miles from that mansion in Los Angeles, there is a 16-year-old boy named Nixon Alexander Knowles, who is Beyonce's baby brother. Same daddy, Mathew Knowles. And most of y'all watching this video didn't even know he existed, because Nixon's mama is a woman named Alexsandra Wright, Canadian, former actress with credits in Baby Boy and Days of Our Lives before she pivoted to PR. And the part that made me sit up, she was working in PR for Microsoft back in 2007. She was literally in Seattle brokering a corporate deal for Beyonce herself when Mathew Knowles, Beyonce's own daddy and her manager at the time, slid up on her. He told her, per her own on-record account to the New York Post, that he was going to stay in Seattle until she agreed to have a drink with him.
Even for a superstar like Beyonce, raising a family presents its challenges. The Grammy winner is giving fans some rare insight into life with husband Jay-Z and the couple's 3 children, 12-year-old Blue Ivy and 7-year-old twins Rumi and Sir.
And he stayed 2-3 weeks until she said fine. What followed was an 18-month affair while Mathew was still married to Tina, going on 31 years of marriage at that point. November of 2009, Tina finally filed for divorce as paternity news broke. And on February 4th, 2010, Nixon Alexander Knowles was born. DNA tests confirmed it. Mathew was the daddy. But baby, that's not even the wildest part, because 5 months later, July 3rd, 2010, Mathew had another outside baby with another woman, a little girl named Mychael Knowles with a former real estate agent named TaQoya Branscomb. 2 outside babies, 6 months apart, both born while Mathew was still legally married to Tina. This wasn't a slip. This was a whole double life. And Tina's brand new 2025 memoir, Matriarch, and Oprah's book club pick, y'all, laid the whole pattern all the way out.
Blue Ivy is pretty in pink. The daughter of Jay-Z and Beyonce is looking all grown up as she steps out in full glam with Grandma Tina Knowles for the 2025 Angel Ball on October 27th in New York City.
Tina wrote that there were already problems from the very first year of that marriage back in 1980. On finding out about Nixon, Tina screamed at Mathew like he was a demon and told him to get out. She wrote that the two of them had been doing the same dance for decades. He would cheat, she would say enough, he would beg his way back in. But the memoir gets even messier. Even after Nixon was born and the whole affair blew up, Tina admitted in the book that she and Mathew secretly reunited for a hot minute. Beyoncé and Solange found out during a surprise Mother's Day visit in 2010, and they were furious. Now everything got hard. In 2011, Beyoncé fires Mathew as her manager. He tells Us Weekly it was mutual, but the divorce was final, the DNA tests were in, and the actual queen was done. Then February of 2013, an LA judge orders Mathew to pay Alexsandra $12,000 a month in child support. $12,000. 13 months later, another judge slashes it down to $2,485 a month because Mathew walked in crying broke, saying his income went from $3 million a year down to $127,000 in 2013. And then TMZ reported the same judge ruled Mathew had actually overpaid and wouldn't owe Alexsandra another dime for 3.5 years.
Revealing in a new GQ interview that she's committed to making life as normal as possible for her kids. The 43-year-old says in a new interview published September 10th, "One thing I've worked extremely hard on is making sure my kids can have as much normalcy and privacy as possible."
So what happens? Alexsandra loses her 3-story LA home. She and 4-year-old Nixon go on food stamps, $300 a month. They move into a trailer through a homeless support group. That is Beyonce's baby brother, in a trailer on public assistance. And Alexsandra told Inside Edition that Mathew himself had suggested Beyonce and Jay-Z just raise Nixon, like hand him over. She refused. In August of 2013, while the child support fight was still going on, Alexsandra published an open letter apologizing to Tina, to Beyonce, Beyoncé and to Solange. She said she regretted the pain she had contributed to their family, and she had the utmost respect and admiration for both of Mathew's daughters. She has never come at Beyoncé sideways, not once. Then in May of 2023, TMZ breaks the story of the mansion. $200 million cash, 8 acres, 30,000 square feet, Malibu's Paradise Cove, designed by a Pritzker Prize-winning Japanese architect named Tadao Ando, sits on a bluff. Took nearly 15 years to build. Most expensive home in the history of the state of California, and it sits about 10 miles from where Nixon and his mama have been living. 2 months after that mansion news broke, Alexsandra sat down with the U.S. Sun and told them about the question her 13-year-old son had been asking her about the biggest pop star on the planet, his own big sister. Sis, he couldn't even say her name to ask it. He called her that person. Nixon asked his mama why his own sister doesn't love him. He had to build a whole wall around Beyoncé's name just to ask the question.
While the 13-year-old skips the red carpet, the teen showed out in a pink silk gown with feathers, later taking a selfie with Tina, who was honored at the event for her work to fund cancer research.
And Alexsandra told the Sun her son has never gotten to be a normal child. That being related to somebody that famous smothers a kid takes their identity. And she said she sits in the bathroom sometimes and cries because she does not know how to help him. And to this day, 16-year-old Nixon has never met Beyoncé, never met Solange, never a phone call, never a card. Alexsandra also told the Sun she listens to Beyoncé's song Ring Off, the one people read as being about Tina finally getting free of Mathew's cheating. And she cries because, in her words, everybody in this story is still in pain. And Alexsandra has not been out here begging either. She became CEO of a company called Global Collective, bought her own home in LA back in 2023. From a trailer to CEO in less than 10 years. She is not asking Beyoncé for a dime. She has just been asking for one single phone call for her son. Now hold on, because we do fair here. Beyoncé has defenders and they are loud. Team Beyoncé says this is Mathew's mess. Beyoncé did not create this baby. Beyoncé did not sign the paternity paperwork. She fired her daddy in 2011 and hasn't been photographed with him since. And that is her boundary. And Alexsandra herself has said on the record she does not expect Beyoncé to take accountability for something that isn't her problem. That is the mother of the child saying it out loud. But then Team Nixon says, cool, but that is still a kid. She has private jets, beachfront homes, resources most people can't even imagine. This is the same Beyoncé who tags her cousin Angie B&C as family in captions, who calls Kelly Rowland her sister on every red carpet, who dedicated a whole song called Ring Off to her mama surviving all of Mathew's cheating. So the circle is wide. Nixon just is not in it. And Beyoncé's team has never once commented publicly on Nixon in 16 whole years. Not one word. So tell me, sis, is Beyoncé's silence her boundary? A grown woman refusing to clean up a mess her father made, and that is her right? Or is it a 16-year-old boy watching his sister on TV every night, wondering why she has never once said his name, while 10 miles of California coastline sits between them? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me what you really think. Hit that like, subscribe if you new around here, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, baddies.